Welcome to another episode of the SportsBros Podcast, featuring the Almighty BeLive, the Money Man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the SportsBros. Reunited and it feels good. Hey, what's going on, world? This be your boy Eddy Kool, aka the HOC, and your favorite sports podcast, none other than the SportsBros Podcast. This is episode 87. The guys were laughing at me earlier because I lost count. It's been a lot going on. Scottie D slanging packages. BeLive trying to hold it together. Me, I'm over freezing to death. But nevertheless, we come back to unite for the first time in forever to bring you your favorite podcast, the SportsBros Podcast, episode 87. Let me clear my throat. I'm a little bit rusty, ladies and gentlemen, so deal with me. Of course, you know I can't do this by myself. I got two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the Almighty BeLive.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Man, oh man, it feels so good to say that again and to be back with my bros. There's been a lot of sports going on and we have not been here to give it to you. Because, you know what? I'm just be honest with you. I've been feeling my inner Nate Robinson for a minute now. Work has been beating me down.
Wow.
But every day that I wake up, I am blessed and thankful, and I will keep pressing, keep moving, keep charging forward. And I'm incredibly thankful this Christmas season to be with my bros. Let's talk about some sports, and then go ahead and introduce that other guy. You know, he's a part of the show too. I mean, you know.
As things change, they still stay the same. And with that being said, the other guy, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, fresh out of 1,000 feet of snow, the one, the only, the Money Man, Scottie D.
Welcome to the Scott Donnelly and the SportsBros Podcast.
No, that's not
Audacity.
That is not a thing.
Well, I feel like this is the last time we all got together. Mike Tyson had just got done fighting, but I think that was the Buster Douglas fight, not the Roy Jones Jr. fight. It's been a minute, so good to have us all back here together. And we will share this podcast. And BeLive, I'm glad to have you back so I can teach you a few things and look at this to be an educational experience. So let's get to it.
Let me take a moment though to apologize to our listeners because I know it's been a little difficult hearing nobody but Scottie D for weeks on end. It's got to be just
absolute
my goodness. As he educated the masses. Yeah, right. All right. Well, yes, we are back again. And man, let's go ahead and get into it. Yes,
shout out to Scottie D for holding it down the past 2 weeks, doing his best Damian Sandow impersonation. You've all been enlightened. Yeah,
absolutely.
Good old Damian Sandow. Episode number 87. Guess what, fellas? It's 13 weeks into the NFL season. It's been affected by injuries, coronavirus, shuffling. We had a Wednesday game. Some weeks don't end on Monday night as they should. It's been a whole hell of a lot going on. It's been a big old shakeup. So let's dive into week 13 of the NFL. Now we got the New Orleans Saints. They defeat the Atlanta Falcons, and the Saints clinch their fourth straight playoff berth. The Cleveland Browns, they defeat the Tennessee Titans barely with a score of 41-35. The Los Angeles Rams, they defeat the Cardinals 38-28. And the Patriots, the team in New England, they give the Chargers, the other LA team, a goose egg as they stomp them 45-0. And the Giants, led by Colt McCoy, he still had a damn job. Well, anyways, they defeat the Seahawks 17-12. And the Green Bay Packers keep rolling as they defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 30-16. There's been a lot going on this week, fellas. So the playoffs are starting to round up. So what do we think was going on, fellas? What do we think?
Well, one thing I would like to mention, the New York Football Giants, with their backup quarterback, beats Russell Wilson. And this is 2020. Are we in Narnia? When would you have ever thought that would happen? Colt 45 McCoy. Wow. That mind absolutely blown. That I was looking at the game. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, a field goal, safety. All right, Seattle's up 5-0. I was like, okay, yeah, 2020. And then the Giants score a touchdown, score another touchdown, field goal. I'm like, wait, hold on. Is Seattle actually playing? And yeah, that actually happened. And then also I noticed that somebody's $100 million contract is not panning out up in Philadelphia because the Eagles have decided to enter into the Hurts business. You like how I did that right there? You see what I did there?
Saw what you did there.
So I mean, there was a little glimpse, a little something that Jalen Hurts brought to the table. So I'm like, I'm actually interested to see what the kid can do. So let's see what Philly can mount up, because they did, as we all could clearly see though, the NFC East, the NFC least is
they're terrible.
Still,
they're still terrible. They're still terrible. Hey, but listen, check this out. The Giants are 5-7 right now. They were 0-5. That means they're playing some pretty good football, because they're 5-2 in their last 7 games, and that's after losing Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones a week ago, I believe.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think you got to give it to their coach that they're starting to buy into what he's selling for them to be playing this good of football right now. And that game was at Seattle last week. The week before was at the Bengals. That was when they lost their quarterback. They squeaked that one out. And their other wins are against the Giants, or rather the Eagles and the Redskins, or the team, whatever you want to call them. They have 2 wins against the team, 1 against the Eagles.
Is Joe Gaffigan's football team.
Our good friend Joe Gaffigan, the Washington football team, the WTFs. But so they're not beating good teams, but they're beating teams. And this Seattle team is a team that we talked about, we threw around as making a deep playoff run. So good for them. They're buying in. The rest of the league, the division is floundering. You know, Washington had to win over the boys on Thanksgiving Day, and they showed a little life. But as we're recording right now, they're not looking too good against the Steelers here on this early Monday Night Football game. And the Eagles, like you said, B-Lab, what is going on with the Eagles? I mean, how did Carson Wentz get that bad? I mean, this is a guy who was really, really good a couple years ago, and now he's really, really bad. I mean, that's a big drop-off. I mean, seismic. I mean, this is they believed in this kid enough to like you said, to throw out all that paper at him, and now his confidence is shot. The team's confidence in him is shot, and all year the head coach he's saying we're not going to make a change. Carson's our guy, and now you're not hearing that as much. So I think at this point you gotta try to get into the Hurts business, don't you?
Be live. Now's the time for you to do your best Scottie D impersonation, because you've been right by telling us all along that you were not sold on Carson Wentz.
I'm not a big "I told you so" person. I like to let things just let it be as they may, you know, because I'm not an egotistical guy. I'm not narcissistic. I mean, you know, I don't have my nickname on like 7 different jerseys and stuff like that. Oh yes, absolutely. I told you so. I'm like, I did not understand it. Yes, Carson Wentz, you were great in the regular season. But Nick Foles was the guy that won the Super. I mean, like, I didn't get it. I don't understand it. Like, it just. I think there's some lingering issues though, because here's one thing I want to I'm gonna ask you guys, because I hadn't pulled it up yet. What round did they draft Jalen Hurts? Wasn't he a second rounder?
I believe he was, yeah.
So let's start there. That, as much as we look at these guys as professional athletes, and they're like, I won't say they're better than we are, but I mean they're professionals. They've exceeded in a sport that, like, the success rate of getting in the NFL is like astronomically low. So you've got to be the best of the best of the best of the best. When it comes to mental strength, when it comes to an emotional toll that it may come to, you could either be Aaron Rodgers, that watch his team draft a quarterback in the first round as opposed to giving him any weapons, and watch him come out and have an MVP type season, or you could be Carson Wentz, where they drafted a quarterback in the second round, which would automatically, I don't care who you are, in the back of your mind, you've got to be thinking that they just hired my replacement.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So we're seeing right before our very eyes, either being able to take the high road and show everybody, hey, wait a minute, hold on. First of all, I'm far from done. That's what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now. Or you have Carson Wentz like, woe is me.
Yeah, but I don't think that's why he's not performing well, though. I don't think he's. I mean, I don't think they drafted Jalen Hurts to be his replacement or successor. Like in Green Bay, they drafted Love to be the heir apparent. I mean, there's a lot of money and time invested in Carson Wentz. I don't think I think they were drafting Hurts because he was one of the better players on the board.
Player.
They thought we could mix, they can mix him into the offense and do some running gimmicky kind of things, some trick plays and stuff with him, and have a very good backup quarterback at the same time. I just think Wentz is just regressing, and he's, they were breaking down on TV last week how he's missing open receivers with his reads. I mean, not even throwing. I mean, he's missing, he's just not going through his progressions as well as he used to, I guess. I don't know. It seems like he's severely lacking confidence.
Yeah, Carson. I'm sorry, B-Lab. Carson Wentz is ever since he got hurt, Carson Wentz has never been the same. And normally you can tell the difference between a player, whether they're going to progress and make progress or regress, is after injuries. I mean, he got hurt late in the season against the Rams, and he has 20 interceptions almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a high number of interceptions. I mean, he's a turnover machine, but also on top of that, the Eagles have been banged up from the giddy up. But yet still, if you're the franchise quarterback, if you're Carson Wentz, some of this falls on you too.
Oh, absolutely. You're for sure correct on that. Because early in the season, I was agreeing with you, to your point about the injuries. I said, it's just not really fair. I mean, it's similar to the Cowboys situation where their whole offensive line is decimated. The Eagles have been pretty much decimated as well. But, I mean, this far into the season, as the leader of the team, he still has to step up and, make some plays and carry some wins, and he's just not doing it. He's just looks terrible back there.
It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, do you chalk this up as a COVID-19 casualty? Could we use that? Because you're not getting arrested, but then again, you're seeing other quarterbacks with, I mean,
we saw Joe Burrow get better. I mean, he started from scratch and was getting better before his injury.
Right. So I mean, that's what. So it's.
I do think that regardless of how it goes this year, I would think that the Eagles are going to say next year's his make or break year. And if in the offseason he doesn't start to, they're going to give him an offseason again to get it right. And going into next season, I'm guessing he's going to be their guy on a short leash. And then, I mean, he has to be. It's not like they have a tradable contract with this guy. And if the rest of the league's watching him flail around in Philly, they're not going to make a move to take him off their hands. I mean, this is he's got to be their guy at least one more year, I would say.
Yeah, because Carson Wentz, I'm looking at his numbers now. Last year he passed for a career high 4,000 yards and had 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. This year, I mean, he has 16 touchdowns to a career high 15 interceptions. If you look from 2016 rookie year till now, like what in the hell's going on? I mean, he almost looks like his rookie year, but I don't know, man. That there Carson Wentz situation is just it boggles my mind. We're gonna have to ask our boy JR what the hell's going on about that.
But how about, speaking of quarterbacks who are under fire, how about Baker Mayfield suddenly looking like a world beater? I mean, the Browns, give it to that team. I mean, I know they almost let Tennessee come back, but that's got to be the biggest win for Cleveland on Sunday in decades for that team, wouldn't you say?
Yep, they are 9-3.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well,
fantasy football.
But since this is the Scott Donnelly show, we're going to talk about the Browns.
This is not the Scott Donnelly
here
show.
We go. Dissension among the ranks.
Let's talk about Eddie. You're in Cleveland. I mean, they're pumped up there, aren't they?
They're pumped up about Baker Mayfield, but here's the thing about it. Cleveland ain't been this good in about 45 years any damn way. So it's just Baker Mayfield at quarterback seems to be the issue.
Agreed. He's looked good the last couple of weeks.
But the thing about it is like, look, you have to liken it to I don't know who can I liken it to, but you have to think about it like this. Look at what you had versus what you have now. The Spurgeon Winds of the world, the Tim Couches of the world, the Sean Kaiser, RG3, Colt McCoy, things that didn't pan out for the team. Now you have a guy, who's tough, who has moxie, but I think Baker Mayfield finally understands his role on this team. Look, we need you to put the ball here, here, here. Do not do too much. Set up, be good in the pass game to set up the run, and we're going to win games like that. Because from the looks of, the Browns can pile up points. The Browns can pile. They've been piling up a lot of points on people, except for when they played Houston, but the weather was extremely bad that day. People a little tough on Baker. But Cleveland, let me tell you something. You won 9 games, okay? You are 9-3. You are second place in your division.
And their defense is legit. I mean, they're winning with your basic, we're going to run the ball and play good defense. And, this time next week, Eddie, we might be saying, well, Baker laid an egg. That wouldn't surprise me either. But for now, right now, this team they're going to make the playoffs. They haven't done that in 18 years or something like that. I mean, good for Cleveland for looking good. I mean, they look like a football team for the first time in a long time.
Yep, and the Ravens are backsliding too.
Absolutely,
which plays perfect into the Browns' hands. Go ahead, be live.
Now, I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial.
Uh-oh.
Does it look like the Browns are playing better team ball because a certain diva of a wide receiver's not playing?
Yeah,
they do.
Yep. Because
I'm just saying they at the beginning of the season, they were forcing Baker Mayfield's hands to try to get the ball into Odell Beckham's hands. Yes, he's the most talented athlete on that team. We get that, but I think he just didn't gel. And now when you see how these boys are, they showing out.
Yeah.
Like I watched the first half of that game, And I mean, Baker, he was comfortable. I mean, Chubb was just beasting them. I mean, and I'm looking at this game like, these boys are legit.
Yeah.
They are legit, and I'm at some point in time in this show, I'm gonna come back to the Cleveland Browns because we have a rundown, and I just thought of something. All right, stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned. Yeah, the Browns are playing some good football. They got Myles Garrett back from the COVID list, and I think now is the time where the team is really starting to click. Who knows, fellas? In a few weeks, we might be talking about the Browns going to the freaking playoffs. Because looking at their schedule, they play Baltimore next, if I'm not mistaken. And after that, they play the Giants. The Giants might give them a run for their money because the Giants are starting to look better. And they play the Jets. I'm sorry. And then they play the Jets. And then they play the Steelers, at the time, at press time, undefeated Steelers. So if you ask me, what's that there? They're 9. They could win 3 straight. Yep, the Browns could possibly win 3 straight. Because like I said, Baltimore's backsliding, they're regressing. What about them? What the hell is going on with the Ravens?
Here's I think, because it's not necessarily a sophomore slump, but I think with the Ravens is a lot of internal mess going on because, I mean, between that COVID outbreak that they had, which is ridiculous. Like, good Lord. I mean, you have these protocols in place and everything like that. But I want to. People got to see a bit and a piece. They saw Lamar Jackson at his finest last season. You think these guys ain't been sitting in the film room all this offseason trying to figure out a way to slow down Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, that's always been the plight of the running quarterback to me. We've seen it before with guys who have great success being runners, but eventually the game film doesn't lie. And these defensive coordinators get paid a lot of money to sit in a room and watch tape over and over and over again and find your strengths and weaknesses and figure you out. There's no secret on how to be a good quarterback in the NFL. You have to be a good pocket passer with a good offensive line to protect you. And it's nice when you have the mobility because that most definitely helps. But eventually it either gets you hurt or gets other teams, they catch on to you. You have to be able to stand in that pocket and deliver. And it's not that Lamar Jackson can't throw the football. It's just that his instinct is to take off and run. And that's just not a winning formula in the NFL.
That's what I told people. I was like, man, what's going on with Lamar Jackson? I said, well, you can akin this to like what they did with Cam Newton. They had no film on Cam Newton his first year. And that's why he was doing what he was doing when he was doing how he was doing. But the next year, once you get tape, like you said, don't think for one second that these guys are just sitting around like not watching film. They are watching film. They are game planning. They are plotting. They are scheming from your body motions to your tendencies. Everything that you think that they may be paying attention to, they are. And I think this is like, hey, it's caught up to Lamar Jackson. It really has caught up to Lamar Jackson. Matter of fact, fellas, how about the Raiders almost giving one away, an early Christmas present to the Jets?
B-Dog, you want to take this one? I know you had a little something. You were feeling a little certain way about the Jets in there.
I'm gonna refrain because I want to save it because for our listeners, you are very familiar with our parts of our segments of our show. I really want to save this for Pepper because this is going to be Ghost Reaper.
Fair enough.
I'm talking hot. Because see.
But let's just say this.
So
your favorite college football quarterback is probably headed to New York next year.
Oh, does he have one?
And you know what? It's funny that on the day that the Jacksonville Jaguars, who only have a single win, go to overtime before losing to Minnesota, that's the day that the Jets almost had an opportunity to tie for that one win and make things a little bit more interesting. But no, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. And the Raiders, who I thought 3 weeks ago were looking really good, they're lucky to come away with a win against the winless Jets. So that's another team who seems to be heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, trending in a whole entirely different direction. What else we got going on here? Miami won. The Saints are going back to the playoffs. Kansas City doing what Kansas City does. We'll talk about them later on in the podcast as well too. Aaron Rodgers doing what he does best. Yes, for that fantasy football team. The hell with you, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Yeah, hell with that guy. And then we got the Rams beating the Cardinals. I think the Rams are another team that's clicking at the right time too.
Well, this week, but they looked bad last week.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, so it's very interesting to see some of these waves that we're going through, because like I look at the Rams and I don't see a division leading team, but yeah, here we are. I honestly thought that Seattle was going to run away with this, and Seattle's going in the wrong direction.
Ugh.
Like a couple weeks ago, we were handing the MVP trophy to Russell Wilson. There was not a doubt in anybody's mind 3-4 weeks ago that Russell Wilson was going to be the MVP. We might be right back to where we started with Russell Wilson. That he might not get a vote.
The MVP award is, in my mind, Patrick Mahomes already can put that in his closet if he wants to. That's going to be his.
I think that. Well, I mean, you know.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna steal this one. I'm gonna steal this one because I'm saying Aaron Rodgers is a bad.
He is. He is, but he's not the best quarterback in the NFL, because Patrick Mahomes far and away is the best quarterback this league has.
But here's the thing. This has always been a topic of discussion. Is the MVP award for the best player or the most valuable to their team?
Patrick Mahomes is both.
I don't know. You put quite a few quarterbacks with all of those weapons that Kansas City has. I think I'm saying they won't be as uber successful as Patrick Mahomes, but they'd be able to do damage. I would love it would be a dream of mine to see Deshaun Watson with those weapons. Because I think he'd be just as good. I think Deshaun Watson is just a product of a bad system.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do you trade away DeAndre Hopkins? I'm sorry, my bad. This is from a few episodes ago. I still can't understand that for the life of me.
You're supposed to, yeah. Matter of fact, me and some coworkers had this conversation today. I'm like, okay, so not only do you trade away this guy, but Will Fuller gets popped for a PED, and he out for the rest of the season in like one game next season. So it's like you put him in a situation. But if you got Brandon Cooks, like I do on my football team, it pays some dividends, but not quite enough. And as we did mention, as of right now during press time, we got the Steelers and the football team. The Steelers 14-10 in the third quarter. And later on tonight, we got the Bills and the 49ers. That should be an interesting one. And then Tuesdays, we got Scottie D's Cowboys against the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Cowboys beat the Ravens. Yeah, I said.
Oh, man. I feel like they haven't played in a year. It's been Thanksgiving Day was a long time ago. That's been a while. It's been 2 Sundays I've sat here and not seen the Cowboys. I forgot they were even playing this year. Just forgot about them.
That is a blessing. They need to be forgotten about. Because but you know what? No, the Red Rocket. I'm sort of rooting for him. And I'm very curious because there's a little speculation about your beloved Cowboys possibly trading away Dak Prescott for a first-round draft pick.
That's
from
rumors.
The Jets.
First of all, if you're the Jets, are you doing that? And the answer is no, because you have a chance to draft Trevor Lawrence, who could be the league's next Peyton Manning type of player.
I need him to be the next Eli Manning and refuse to go to the Jets. That's what I need him to do.
But I don't even think
the
Cowboys can do that because technically they're going to have to place a franchise tag on Dak Prescott to even make him a Cowboy next year. He's not going to be under contract as of the end of the league season. So I don't even think that's a realistic possibility unless they would sign him to like the huge deal that he wants and then trade him. That's not happening. It's a pipe dream.
Let me put it to you this way, and Scottie D, you are sitting down, correct? Because I'm.
Lay it
I
on
just
me,
want to
big
make sure
boy.
you're sitting down. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Trevor Lawrence in a Cowboys jersey as opposed to being a Jet or a Jaguar.
I want to see. I'd rather see Trevor Lawrence. You know what? I'm gonna go off on the Jets right fast. Matt Patricia, I ain't through with you yet. You gotta look at it like this. You got crazy eyes Adam Gase, who decided recently, I'm gonna let my offensive coordinator call the plays because I don't trust myself. I'm gonna trust you neither, Adam Gase. I'm gonna trust with my.
Whoa. He said that
To an extent.
Yeah, he's got another. He's got some else. Pretty much, dump button time. This motherfucker. Okay. Adam Gase. How in the hell, week in and week out, do you find a way to keep your job? Fellas, we've all worked in the service industry. We all have jobs. We know that these kind of jobs are performance-based. If you suck ass, you're getting fired. What in the hell does crazy eyes, incompetent, slow-looking Adam Gase, bug-ass, sugar-loving Adam Gase, how in the hell does he have a job? How does he have a job? In the words of Shula King, does anybody want to tell me how this Rudy Poo still have a damn job? You got a lot of good coaching candidates, and somehow, some way, Adam Gase, he's an offensive genius. Hell, I can't tell. I'm spitting on my computer. Adam Gase, if I underperform on my job, my ass is getting fired. You are 0-12, and you sitting there looking silly. I'm not listening to nothing on the internet. I'm not listening to the tweets. Damn it, you better listen to some about it.
Woohoo! Boy. Oh, that was hot off the press right there.
I had to get it out my system. I apologize. If I offended to the listeners, I apologize myself. It's gonna be multiple dump buttons on that, but I've been having to get this off my chest about Adam Gase.
Saucy.
Ooh, boy. Oh man. I like it.
I need my water. And with that being said, fellas, what did we learn this week?
Man, oh man, who'd have thought the Bills and the Dolphins would be within a half a game of each other for the division lead? Who would have thought the Cleveland Browns would be 9-3? Who would have thought? Yeah, the Raiders are still out there contending
In the hunt.
So I mean, these next couple weeks of football is going to be very interesting. And one last thing to my beloved Carolina Panthers, I'm gonna need y'all to get healthy. Just found out today that they shut down facilities due to positive COVID situationals. So please be safe. This is a real thing out there, man. Oh man, it's scary.
I'll tell you what I learned.
Scary.
I learned that the Green Bay Packers will be representing the NFC East, or the NFC rather, in the Super Bowl this year. That's what I learned.
That's nice that they can represent the NFC East.
They're good enough to carry both.
Yeah.
The NFC. Yeah.
So you just
Yep.
writing off the Saints like that.
No, the Saints write themselves off by doing something silly in the playoffs every year. Pass interference calls and giving up sideline hook patterns and stuff like that. They do themselves in. I don't have to worry about that.
Well,
that is true.
Well, the Vikings are 6-6 and technically still in the hunt. So, if they see the Vikings and it's over with, I'm sorry, Saints fans, but the Vikings are your kryptonite.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
But I just like the way Green Bay looks right now. I like the way Aaron Rodgers seems very comfortable with his coach and with his team, thrown to his receivers. He's got running game. I just think that Green Bay looks the part right now. Now, that could change. Injuries happen, COVID happens, but I think that team looks apart. And maybe when Drew Brees comes back, I will feel differently seeing, because I tell you, the Saints defense is legit, and maybe with him back there, maybe we'll see. But I just feel like I never would have thought when Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl a few years back that when he retired, that would be his only Super Bowl appearance. And it's starting to get late in the game, and I still can't see him having one Super Bowl appearance on his resume when he retires. And I think this is his year.
I think he just turned 37. So
yep, and he knows that.
Ticking, brother.
I think he's more determined than ever. He got rid of that dead weight Mike McCarthy, and life is good.
Oh, Mike McCarthy. Where is he at now?
Is it time to talk about college football yet?
I'm glad you said it, Scottie D, because moving right along, well, actually, that's the wrap up for a very festive week 13 in the NFL. I'm still on fire after that little rant I had. We're going to talk some college football. The hell with everything else. Right now, we're going to talk about Coastal Carolina University defeating the BYU Cougars of Brigham Young University. So you mean to tell me at a moment's notice, BYU said, Liberty can't play? Yeah, we'll leave the mountains of Utah and go to the beach, only to get beat up by the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. Now, we have a Coastal Carolina alum on the show, the almighty B-Live. He attended the university, and me, I just partied at the university because I went to Horry Georgetown Tech. And we've all had a chance to embrace elements of the Coastal Carolina atmosphere. So, B-Live, how monumental is this win for Coastal Carolina University?
This was I don't think I can actually describe it in words, because when I attended Coastal Carolina, the football program was just being established. I happened to be there for the first year, and just let all the listeners know that I actually didn't make it into any of the games when I was at Coastal, because we may have tailgated a lot.
Very.
So by the time the game was started,
so you read about a lot of Coastal games the next day in their first season.
I'm not lying to you. So I can only imagine, just to paint a picture of Coastal Carolina University. Coastal Carolina University is full of a bunch of people that came to Myrtle Beach on spring break and didn't want to leave.
Pretty much.
So I'm just being honest.
That's kind of how I got there.
Just being honest. But I will say this: I'm like seeing the beginning of the football program. I've followed Coastal football since its very beginning. This right here is monumental. They've only been in the football bowl subdivision for 3 years. 2017 was when they made the move from FCS to FBS. There's been a couple times they made the FCS playoffs, but this year is far and beyond, just way beyond my wildest dreams. They are 10-0, ranked for the first time ever. I mean, they've only been in the FBS 3 years. They come out ranked, undefeated, and take down a very strong BYU team that had playoff implications.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was talk, like we were actually shocked. I was very shocked when the initial playoff rankings came out and had BYU ranked 14th.
A lot of people did, yeah.
Top 10. And for Coastal Carolina,
yep.
So for Coastal Carolina,
Myrtle Beach.
Scott, where's Coastal Carolina located?
Conway. in the
It's
Myrtle Beach
located
area.
in Conway, South, in the Myrtle Beach area.
The metropolitan area.
For Coastal Carolina University, as it sits right now, to have the best record in the state, by the way, even better than my beloved Clemson Tigers, to be the only school in Sun Belt history to go 10-0, this is beyond, like, mind-blowing. I hope, this is honest to God, this is what I hope. I hope Cincinnati loses.
Oh.
Because with Cincinnati losing, with Coastal being undefeated, they're going to rise in the rankings. It would all be wonderful if they scratched the top 10. I don't see that, but it's a possibility. This is how huge this victory was. And for them possibly in the hunt for a New Year's Bowl. I would really love them to be in the playoffs, but I really don't think that's going to happen. But they still have another date with yet another ranked team, the Raging. I think because they're going to face the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana again for the Sun Belt Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So and if I'm not mistaken, Louisiana's only loss is to Coastal. So I don't know if you could tell by the excitement in my voice. That's how big this game was. College game day was in Conway, South Carolina. All eyes, I'm talking about the entire nation, the world was watching this game. And for Coastal Carolina to show up and show out the way they did, man, oh man. I'm going to take this opportunity also. I've been talking a lot. I'm just so excited. I want to actually give a shout out to BYU and their athletic program for this, because that's an incredible haul to, like, on the fly. They actually sent their trucks to Conway before the decision had even been made. They started hitting the road. So that was such a gutsy call and everything. And I very much appreciated it, because I think that is the best college football game we have had all year. And that's not my Coastal bias. That's literally to stop BYU on the 2-yard line with no time left to preserve the win. It was just amazing.
That was awesome.
Absolutely.
And I tell you took the words out of my mouth too by giving credit to BYU, because that's not an easy thing to do, to take a game on a couple days' notice and to agree to be the road team. Even having said that, I thought they were going to come down there and beat Coastal. I really did, just because, it's BYU. It's a big program, and like you said, a lot of the expert analysts are saying that this team should be higher than 14th ranked, and it was so exciting. I was watching the game, and I'm going to admit, I'm on the bandwagon. I haven't been watching the games closely as much. I've just been kind of following highlights and box scores. But I'm on my hands and knees with the game on the line. Excited. Like I'm more excited for this football game than I have been. Well, for any Cowboy game for sure, or any other game I've watched now in a year or two. So that was super exciting. Awesome for the program to show out and get the attention while College game day gave them that attention, and for them to come through. Very exciting time. I tell you, it's for Coastal, or actually for the whole area. You have them winning that such an incredibly big game on the heels of Dustin Johnson winning the Masters last month. And on the same night, North Myrtle Beach, your alma mater, was playing for the state championship in football. Came up a little short, but no shame in being a runner-up to in the state. And the basketball team's 2-0 and looking to go 3-0 as we speak right here. So good time for that area, man, for the Myrtle Beach, Conway area. The metropolitan area.
Metropolitan area.
The Grand Strand.
The Grand Strand.
Very cool. Very cool that all that stuff was going on. And Facebook was just blowing up that night with people rooting for Coastal and celebrating. It was pretty cool, man. I have to admit. Very, very, very nice. Very nice win for Coastal. I hope they keep it going. I hope they're able to beat Louisiana again. And in the meantime, our Clemson Tigers, all roads lead to Dabo, Looking good, baby. Our Clemson Tigers are looking good.
Our Clemson Tigers.
We look good.
My Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit this out.
Wow. So you gonna sit this?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Oh, I hope we get another crack at Notre Dame.
That is now solidified.
I can't wait till we play them.
Yeah.
Didn't that kid run his mouth? Or be like, you're gonna talk about that later on.
Oh yeah. We'll get there. Let's. Oh boy. All right. I'm sorry. I regressed for a second. My anger boiled up a little bit. Both because Scottie D over here claiming to be a Clemson fan all of a sudden. Again.
Hashtag
who is
love it.
And on top, wait a minute. On top of that, using my hashtag before I get the chance to. Oh boy, dump button, go, Eddy Kool, Amtrak.
Go, you dirty rat. All right, getting back on track. It's been a very action-packed week in college football, and guess what? It is far from over because we're getting towards that time of the year. Playoffs? Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the college playoffs pretty soon. Any final thoughts on the weekend that was in college football, fellas?
The Big 12 sucks.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Indiana
again
for getting another one. That's another program that's been in shambles for a long time, and winning with Wisconsin with their starting quarterback out. Good for that team, man. Good for Indiana.
The Coastal Carolina schedule. They've got a postponed game that rescheduled. Troy coming up, and then in the Sun Belt Championship will be the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. It's man, that game's gonna be big as well because it was only a 3-point victory the first time against Louisiana, so they might be coming.
Yeah, we'll beat them. I like our chances.
Let's see.
Yep, just a little bit of blood. Hey, I don't know if you guys been paying attention, but Iowa State has been making a little bit of noise down there in the college football conference that refuses to play defense.
Oh, man. Again, it's still terrible.
Yeah.
Big 12 is still terrible. Big 10 can't figure out if they can play 6 games to qualify for the championship.
Oh.
And then the Pac-12 is just literally irrelevant. Like, why did you even suit up and try? You should have stuck to your guns and not played because it is a ginormous waste of time.
They don't even have a team in the top 15.
No, their good teams are losing.
Nah, not even close.
They don't really have a good team.
The only representation that the Pac-12 has, was
it Southern
the
Cal?
Trojans and the Oregon Ducks.
And Oregon does not look good.
I'm sorry, and Oregon, Washington, and Southern Cal. It's a bad year for the Pac-12. It's a bad year.
Well, it just shows that you either go big or go not at all. I know they had the safety and well-being of the players in mind and everything like that, but this is again another instance of where the NCAA. I don't even understand what they even stand for anymore. Does the NCAA do? Because that should have been an opportunity to where, hey, NCAA comes together and basically like, hey, the ACC and the SEC, they're going to play. The Big 12 is going to play. It might not be in your best interest to wait and see. Because Pac-12, when they opted out at the beginning, they honestly thought that all the other conferences were going to do so. And now they're playing catch-up, and it's literally to the point of why.
Yeah.
And the College Football Playoff Committee has made it clear that they have no regard for any of the Pac-12.
They don't. I tell you what the NCAA does. Take money. And with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the College Football Wrap-Up. All right, college football, boy, that's fun. But you know what else is fun? We got a segment we hadn't done in forever, but we feel the time is now more than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the return of the penalty box. And in case you knew or forgot how the penalty box goes, it goes a little something like this. Somebody out there in the world of sports did something dumb. Or as I say, suffers from a major case of dumb assery, if you will. And with that being said, we talk about it and then we opine on our opinions about it. And Scottie D just might have a do better moment up his sleeve. And with that being said, I'll go first. In the state of Texas, football is king, especially high school football. Just ask Emmanuel Duran, 18-year-old high school football player. He recently got ejected from a football game. But guess what, though? Oh, he thought that he was done wrong, done dirty. As young kids do at that age, they're not thinking with the right mind, and then again, they ain't thinking at all. So what does young Emmanuel Duran do? He charges the field and body checks the referee.
Oh,
yeah. Big dummy moment. Now, Emmanuel Duran, he is a very sturdy-looking kid. He looks like a man among boys, if you will. He ain't no little kid. He is not the kid that plays in guard and water boy, who sits at the end of the bench and guard the water boy, guard the water cooler and tackle anybody that gets towards the water cooler. Oh no, he probably look like he's about a tight end or defensive end. He's a big old boy. He's a possible D1 prospect. Well, guess what? Not only did he get ejected, chances are Mr. Emmanuel Duran, he also got some scholarships pulled back off the table, as hard as those are to get. And the grand finale, are you ready, fellas? Drum roll, please. 18-year-old Emmanuel Duran, you cost your team.
no.
Yes, you cost your entire team continuation in the playoffs. All because you couldn't control your temper.
Oh, they lost because of that.
Yeah.
No, they didn't lose.
They didn't lose.
They won that game. But the state of Texas,
yeah. They said, we can't reward bad behavior. So not only does you got to suffer, your team also has to suffer. Oh, fellas, it gets better. Mr. Emmanuel Duran, he also, at press time, it may have been updated, he also has been charged with a Class A assault. All because you got kicked out of a football game.
Oh, you got to do better, kid. You got to do better.
If I'm your teammates, I'm not talking to you forever. I might talk to you when we get about 50. I might talk to you when you're on your deathbed. But between now and then, I ain't got nothing to say to you. Scottie D, who you got in the penalty box?
Well, I had Jerry Jones locked in there because he hired Mike McCarthy, who hired John Fossil, who called 3 fake punts this year and was successful on none. So that's a pretty full box. Yeah. But I also kind of want to toss in Kyrie Irving, just because his behavior has always been sort of questionable. We got kind of run out of Boston, and then they hire he's in Brooklyn, and they hire Steve Nash to be his coach, but he kind of wants them to all like work together, not really have him be the head coach. And now he's not talking to the media. He's releasing statements on media day. Just enough of this guy. Penalty box, Kyrie Irving. You got to do better. You got to do better than this. Listen to his stupid statements. The earth is flat. That's all you have to hear from this guy. That's enough for him. Penalty box for Kyrie Irving, and he might stay in there all season long. That's all.
Oh. All right, B-Live. Who you got in the box?
Well, you already know when it comes to me and the penalty box, there will be one person that will never, ever leave the penalty box. And I'm talking to you, Mr. Robert Kraft. You will never, ever leave the penalty box. But there is a new addition to the penalty box. Eddy Kool opined on it earlier with his rant about Adam Gase. I'm going deeper into the coaching tree at the Jets. Greg Williams. What in the entire HE double hockey six were you thinking when you dialed up a zero blitz with 7 seconds to go, up by 4?
4 points.
You have one job.
One job. Uno.
And that is to keep the players and the ball in front of you. You never call a zero blitz. You telling me there's no safety help at all?
This is a defensive genius.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me. And don't freak out. You think I may have forgot about Bountygate when you were with the Saints?
Nope.
No. Nope. You were single-handedly responsible for some of the dumbest things in the history of the National Football League. A zero blitz. You can't. So, man, Henry Ruggs, which is one of the fastest dudes on the planet, mind you, does a double move and is able to get behind the quarterback for the easiest freaking over-the-top throw I've ever seen to win a game. You've got – I wasn't watching it live, but my inbox blew up. Everybody saying, Oakland, oh, my God. I saw the replay, and I said, come on, hold the hell up. Let me check my resume. I'm 38 years old. I've never played a lick of football. The most football that I have played is on Madden, and before that, I may have played a couple of flag football games when I was 10. I've never played a lick of organized pads-on football, but I guarantee you that is the last play I'm going to call in that situation. You get paid millions of dollars on a National Football Team franchise, and you call that play? You got to be the dumbest. And I promise you, oh my God, if he finds a way to get another job, you know what? I'm gonna adopt my resume.
He better not.
Sure. Oh, he's got it's just wow, mind blown. Greg Williams, as the infamous money man Scottie D said, you know what? I can't even use that hashtag because you should not get a chance to do better. Just yeah. Oh,
that may have been the end of him. That may have really
had to be.
But you know what? But Adam Gase is the guy that's in charge. He has to do better too. He has to say, no, we're not doing that. I mean, that's what I have to say is, no, you're the head coach.
He don't want to call plays as it is. What make you think I'm not going to do it? I am not going to.
I think maybe Gase said, hey man, if we win this game, we don't get Trevor Lawrence. So let's run an all-out blitz. That's the only thing that makes any sense with that play call at all. It just doesn't make sense.
But the thing about it is blatant. You're either you know what you're either simply mentally challenged. I really want to use the word that I want to use. I'm gonna stay PC with it.
Oh, please do.
You either are mentally challenged or you're blatantly tanking.
Maybe Greg Williams is a big fan of Gruden. Maybe he has like a Gruden Raiders poster on his wall. He's wanted him to win so bad. He's like, yeah, he's my hero. He's going to win.
Collusion. Either way. You do not. Oh my God. Oh boy, if I did again, Eddy Kool, the way you said about the service industry, if I pull some mess like that at my job,
we done.
Oh my God, boy. Oh, you know what? Let me bring it back in. Find my happy spot.
So if you go to Max Speed Shop, you'll never get a full-out blitz with 7 seconds left.
Exactly.
No, you won't do that.
Only thing you might get at Max Speed Shop is somebody putting in a $300 Doordash order that almost touched the ground when the ticket came in. I'm like, oh boy. It's all right. We appreciate your business, and I'm pretty sure we forgot one of your items because we're still human. Anyway.
I tell you what, a $300 as a DoorDash. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I also DoorDash as well too. Sponsorship. I also DoorDash as well too. And a $300 DoorDash night. Oh, I'm going home for the rest of the night. No more dashes for me. Turn my little blip off. I am done. I made my money.
Crazy, man. But yeah, Greg Williams, God, boy, woo. Jeez. I can see Adam Gase right now.
Looking goofy.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, Jerry Jones will probably hire him next year.
Oh, of course he would.
Probably.
Oh, Jera.
You know what? I think Jerry Jones is smarter than that.
No.
He hired Mike McCarthy.
No.
He said no.
Somebody that let Jason Garrett keep his job for 9 years, that does not signify upper intelligence.
Didn't Mike McCarthy spend the night at Jerry's house?
Yeah,
I can see him now. Now, Mike, you got to come over here now. You're a big old boy, but you can't be eating up all this here food now. We just come to spend the night and talk a little bit of business.
And there's Steven jumping around the corner. Daddy, can we keep him? Can we keep him? Yes. Yes, he's going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's how that works.
Oh, God.
Somebing gonna keep look at that big old Purdy Super Bowl ring he got on his finger. Pig suey.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's just so to Emmanuel Duran, Kyrie Irving, and the legendary Greg Williams. All three of you take a trip to the penalty box. Enjoy your stay, fellas, along with Robert Kraft. And I will guarantee you none of these guys will be like Jenna Clem and redeem herself and get up out of the penalty box. Jenna Clem's a legend, whether she knows it or not. Scottie D, do you know anybody that's a Jets fan?
I do. I know several Jets fans.
So do
they're all happy that they're losing because of the obvious reason.
God.
They got to be high. They got to be high.
Yeah.
It's just at the expense of my beloved quarterback.
Yes.
I'm just, oh God, this is
just
painful.
think about this. Think if you're a Jets fan and every week you lose and you say, okay, we're one step closer to getting Trevor Lawrence. And then they did do something stupid like trade that draft pick away. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine that that's all you're looking forward to and they take that away from you as well? Oh man, that would be a disaster if they don't end up with Trevor Lawrence next year. I'm just telling you.
There'd be a lot of burnt
jerseys.
My goodness. A lot of burnt jerseys.
I'm excited for the draft because if I'm not mistaken, if coronavirus subsides, I think the draft will be up here in Cleveland, Ohio. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yep, to see how that turns out. All right, fellas. So we got them three bums and a jackass in a penalty box. Scottie D, guess what? We did not forget about our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. We took a little break because things got crazy. But Scottie D, what is the question for next week's choices of the voices?
All right, here's the question I'm posing to our listeners for the choices of the voices next week. Imagine your football team has a 4th and 1 situation. Game is on the line. You can choose any running back ever to get that 1 yard for you. Who you got? Who do you want carrying that ball to get that 1 yard you need on 4th and 1? That is the question for the choices of the voices next week.
All right. 4th and 1. Who you gonna give it to? I got an idea. Be Live, you might like this one, but I'll save it for next week's show. I'll save it for next.
My answer is going to be put me in the game, coach, as long as Greg Williams is the defensive coordinator.
That's right. It could be anybody if he's on the other side.
Jesus.
Greg Williams. Where's Wade Phillips when you need him?
Wow.
Man, oh man.
At least he won't let us down.
Oh boy. Well, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that question. I think we're going to get a lot of good answers.
And hey, just off the topic here for a second, the Washington football team is driving with a tie score with 2 minutes to go in the game here, trying to defeat the Steelers for the first time this season.
Call your Steelers fans. Call your Steelers fans.
Boy,
Ooh,
do not let that happen.
We're gonna have to check on our Steelers fans. If this happens, Joe Gaffigan will be jumping up and down, and the Steelers fans gonna be sick.
Oh, they're gonna be so. Oh, I'm gonna make sure personally that they're sick because they riding this little train right now. Man, they feeling themselves a little too much. As I see the post every day. I'm like, all right, is it time for this to end? And you know what? I'm gonna join the 72 Dolphins. I'm gonna smoke me a cigar and pop the champagne. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's a record
that'll never be. Let's just see what happens.
That'll never be broken. All right, and with that being said, I'm giving myself the go home cue. Time to get up out of here. Hopefully we can see the end of this game, but if not, it's okay. We have the replay button. As we do around this time in the show, we do a round of pepper. We do 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. It is here to enlighten, entertain, and just have plain fun. As you know me, since sports has been coming back, I've still been doing my This Day in Histories, and I've also been doing some extra things too, birthdays and all that. And the guys, well, they do what they do, how they do, when they do. Ooh, pimping. Anyways, I'm in a silly mood. It's gonna be a great show. I'll go first. My first pepper point goes out to LeVar Ball, aka Mr. 2.2 points a game. All right. But I'm here to commend LeVar Ball. Ask me why I'm commending
why are you commending LeVar Ball?
Scottie D, I'm glad you asked why am I doing that to LeVar Ball. Because all 3 of his sons are now on NBA
Impressive.
rosters. You see, LeVar Ball is a wildcat. He got a big old mouth. But guess what? He delivered on his promise, as Lonzo Ball currently plays for the Pelicans. LaMelo Ball got drafted by the Hornets, and the often forgotten child, LiAngelo Ball, got signed by the Detroit Pistons. Hats off. See the enigmatic, charismatic, and unique LeVar Ball. Now I'm just ready to see him and Michael Jordan have that one-on-one game that I so desperately been waiting for. Really? Not really. Over to you, Scottie D.
3 balls, but 2 good balls. Interesting. All right.
Keep going. I'm keeping that in.
All right, so this past Saturday night, Earl Spence Jr. retained his unified welterweight titles. He's the IBF and WBC champion. He did that with a unanimous decision over Danny Garcia. So while Floyd Mayweather is goofing off with this YouTube clown, and Evander Holyfield is collecting Social Security and still calling out Mike Tyson, let's get serious about boxing, get Earl Spence in the ring with Terrence Crawford, and let's do it now. We missed out on the primes of Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather by goofing off too many years. We got that fight well too late in their careers. Let's not mess that up, guys. Get in the ring, Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. I want to see that fight, and I want to see it now. Be Live, over to you.
All right. That has to happen, Doze. That would be a huge draw right now.
Yep.
So I got a nice little hometown story for my first round of pepper. We mentioned it a little bit earlier about The SportsBros Podcast was born in North Myrtle Beach. How long ago did we meet, fellas? It's been overtime. We're talking probably
over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, possibly.
when Eddy Kool, when was your karaoke championship? Yeah, I said it.
2005.
All right, so 15 years.
15, yeah. I was gonna say we met at a lovely place called Overtime Sports Bar and Cafe. It's so hard to say goodbye. By obligation, Overtime is no more. It's no longer with us, but the memories shall remain. But but North Myrtle Beach has a special place in all of our hearts. We have all moved on to various areas: Washington, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio, Fayetteville, North Carolina. But North Myrtle Beach will always be home for the SportsBros Podcast. So I want to take this opportunity and commend the North Myrtle Beach High School Chiefs football team of 2020. Made it all the way to the state title game. Unfortunately, come up short against AC Florida, the Falcons, 42-7. But it was a hard-fought battle. And I just want to commend all the young men of North Myrtle Beach High, the football team. It was a joy to watch this season. It was an absolute joy. And keep your head up. They're promising futures for all of these young men. And man, oh man, we're so incredibly proud of you. North Myrtle Beach, once a Chief, always a Chief. That's for me and my boy Eddy Kool. Scott, we'll use somewhere else or whatever. I mean, but it is what it is, you know. But man, we love our Chiefs, and man, so incredibly proud of you. Eddy Kool.
Yep. With that being said, North Myrtle Beach. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta do it one time. Way down in the valley, I heard a mighty noise. Was a mighty, mighty Chiefs. The mighty, mighty Chiefs just a beating those boys. Put your hand on the starter, and your foot on the gas. Move over this week's opponent. Hey, we're going to beat you pretty fast. I sang that song a lot of nights when we got those victories. So I'm leaving that in. So shout out to my alma mater, the North Myrtle Beach Chiefs.
And that's why
Fellas,
you're a karaoke champion right there too, buddy.
Exactly. I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of none. All right, my second pepper point is a historical one. On this day in history, back in 1987, Philadelphia Flyers goalie Ron Hextall becomes the first goalie to score a goal. So shout out to Ron Hextall and that big old head of his. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right. Well, my mind is on the fight game. I just wanted to mention that Dana White has recently, UFC president, cut Yoel Romero, as well as a young lady by the name of Rachel Ostorovich, a flyweight fighter. And Dana White announces that could be one of about 60 fighters cut by the end of the year. And the end of the year, I think, is less than a month away. So something to keep your eye out here on the UFC. Man, I hate seeing this happen, man. The UFC carried us there, fellas, early in the year before all the sports were back. They were the ones that kind of stomped through the door and said, we're going to still have we're still going to show you some live sports. So, yeah, I hate to see that happen. Hopefully, some of these young fighters will make it big elsewhere, but just something to keep our eye on here in the UFC going forward. Be live, over to you.
Man, oh man, COVID-19,
I'm telling you, man, killing us.
Yeah,
strikes again, man. Oh man, we're gonna make it through.
Damn you, coronavirus!
So, as it sits right now, when the college football world is really starting to tighten up, but the marquee matchups that everything is on the line. The SEC championship is set. It will be the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Florida Gators. The ACC championship game is set. It will be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish against all roads lead to Dabo, the Clemson Tigers. I mentioned these because that is number 1 versus number 6. Number 2 versus number 3. As it sits again, this is literally a college playoff quarterfinal. And man, oh man, I cannot wait. We are still a couple weeks away from those championships. Man, I literally cannot wait. I have already requested off of work for Saturday, December 19th, January 1st, and January 11th. Why have I taken those days off already? Because it's the ACC Championship, the College Football Playoff Semifinal, and the College Football Playoff Championship, where I do anticipate my boys, the Clemson Tigers, to be in all 3 of those, be playing on all 3 of those dates. So, I love you, Max Speed Shop, but y'all already know I don't do too well with working while Clemson is playing.
Distracted.
Especially when the orange britches come on, because it's championship season, baby. Y'all know
I
about
predict
them
you
orange
work at least
britches.
2 of those games. I predict that you will be at work at least 2 of those games. I know you're trying to say you're taking off, but my prediction is you work.
Money man Scottie D, you can go to hell.
How dare you say it to me on my show?
Shut your ass up.
Vince man, you can go to hell.
You said that to me on my very own show.
Eddy,
I can't believe
Yeah.
it.
Eddy Kool, the ball.
All right.
Audacity.
The audacity, the unmitigated gall. All right. And on this day in history, a pretty good quarterback was born. On this day in history, back in 1981, Phillip Rivers was born. The dadgummit saying, football slanging, top 15 all-time passing yards in league history, and the father of 11 kids and married. His birthday is today. So big shout out to Phillip Rivers, who spent a good portion of his career with the San Diego/LA Chargers, who's now running the helm at the Indianapolis Colts. So shout out to the one and only dadgummit Phillip Rivers. Woo! Pow! All right.
All right, as you were kicking it to me, I'm watching Hopkins of the Washington football team kick it through the uprights to give a 23-17 lead for the Washington football team over the Pittsburgh Steelers with 17 seconds remaining. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, you already know what happened, but we don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, anyway, that's where we stand with that possible NFL upset here. Again, the Miami Dolphins could be ready to drink some champagne. All right, so last week, Anthony Davis finally signed his contract with the Lakers. 5 years, $190 million small dollars. He said he wanted that security because he gets hurt sometimes, doesn't even play. So he wanted to make sure he was financially secure. That happened just a few days after the Lakers extended LeBron James for a couple more years. In the meantime, Klay Thompson is out again with another injury. I hated it for Klay and the Warriors, but that does seem to weaken the Warriors once again. The Clippers seem to be in a tailspin. Guys, the Lakers looking good to repeat. How about ya?
Yep.
Liv, over to you.
Nobody cares. All right.
Again, insulting me on my own show, on the Scott Donnelly show.
Wow. Jesus, you sound like Colin Coward right now.
Oh, boy.
Colin Cow Turd, as I like to refer to him. Anyway.
Hey, Joy Taylor.
Hi. Anyway, man, oh man. I wanted to finish off this pepper. Man, oh man. Just reflecting on this year and what it's thrown at us. What's that one song? Ain't Too Proud to Beg?
Yeah.
Sweet darling,
Yeah.
Please don't leave me, girl.
Yeah.
Well, the mustache himself Gardner Minshew II says he pleaded with head coach Doug Marrone to put him back on the field after he was medically cleared from a thumb injury late last month. Doug Marrone said, no, I'm not feeling you. I'm sick with Mike Glennon instead. My man Gardner Minshew is begging. He literally said he begged, please put me back in the game, coach. The mustache is starting to itch. Man, I just why would you beg to get back on the field for the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's another program that I do not want to see Trevor Lawrence go to. Tony Khan, stick to wrestling because football ain't your thing. I'm just telling you. Golly, Minshew, don't beg. Don't beg. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Oh man. Yeah, I hate to see a grown man beg.
Put me in, coach.
Hey guys, check it out. There is now no more undefeated teams in the NFL. The Washington football team of the mighty NFC East gets the win over the mighty Pittsburgh Steelers, a day after the mighty New York Football Giants defeated the mighty Seattle Seahawks. NFC East is surging, baby.
So that puts the football team tied with the football Giants at 5-7 for the NFC least division lead. Wow.
Very historic victory here tonight.
It's gonna come down to the last. It's gonna come down to the last game of the season, fellas.
Yeah, it usually does.
Last game of the season. All right, and that's about it for another action-packed and wildly entertaining episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in forever, you got all three of us at the same damn time. We got a lot going on, but guess what? We don't want you to be without the Sports Bros Podcast. And with that being said, Scottie D.
You can find me on a UPS truck rolling around Western Pennsylvania, or you can find me on Facebook as usual. Let me know let me know on Facebook what you like about our podcast, what you don't like. Lay it on us, man. We want to hear it. We just want to hear from you. And thank you for listening to the Sports Bros. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thank you for sticking with us. Also, be live. Where can they find you?
Well, you can find me in St. Louis. My bad. I couldn't resist.
You had to.
You're not going to be allowed to do that anymore once you change the name to Scott Donnelly in the Sports Bros Podcast.
Here we go. Be live. Where the hell can they find you?
So can we just kick him off the show? How you just gonna come in and take over? Like, you can find me at 482 North McPherson Church Road because I stay there more than I stay in my own home.
He got a cot in the back, y'all. Nah.
That is the location of Max Speed Shop here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of the best burgers and brisket in town, smoked pulled pork. Man, oh, I'm hungry again. All right, and 55 draft beers, over 150 bottles and cans of beer that I just had to count last week. Is a lot of freaking beer. My bartenders yelled at me. They're like, "You got way too many beers." My bad. It is what it is. I'm good at my job. Anyway,
that mean your ass got to sell them. Oh, but go ahead.
Right. But also, you can find me on our social media platform, Sports Bros Podcast, on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram. Twitter will be Sports Bros PCast at Sports Bros PCast. Instagram, Sports Bros Podcast. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to email us at sportsbrospcast@gmail.com. Check out our WordPress. We're going to be updating that soon with some new fresh articles. I might be inspired to write one about the North Myrtle Beach Chiefs. I might if I ever have time, which I don't ever. But sportsbrospodcast.wordpress.com. Check us out on YouTube. Has some of our vintage videos, some of what happened, some Tranquilo, and a little bit of Scott's thoughts sprinkled in with some of our older episodes. But yeah, check us out. Let us know how you feel. We need more reviews. We need more likes on our Facebook page. Definitely subscribe Apple Podcasts and all those things, whatnot. Man, we're very thankful to have all of our listeners, and we are the Sports Bros by the fan for the fans. So your input is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yep, and that's what we do. And that leaves me, it's me, the HOC, Eddy Kool up in here. You can find me all over the place. I'll probably be at work at the Cheesecake Factory trying to stay safe and serve food, where I specialize in telling good lies and bad jokes, baby. So please believe that. Come in, pay me a visit, and leave me some good money like you love me. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Also, you can catch me on all the aforementioned Sports Bros Podcast social media platforms. You can also catch me on this exciting and fun app called Sports Me. Yeah, Sports Me is funny. Just imagine TikTok, mindset dancing, where you got folks talking about sports and they battle back and forth. Who's going to win? Who has the best point? Who's going to say this? Who has the best hot take? So check me out, Eddy Kool, on the Sports Me app. Look me up, SportBro19. The word Sport Bro and the number 19. Also, Be Live, I know you're ready for it. The weekly standings via TikTok is coming back soon. Please believe it. Those are coming back soon. And you can also check me out on TikTok as well, too. At the Eddy Kool on Instagram. Cool Season, all one word. And if you like music, if you like rap, hip-hop music, I forgot to tell you guys. Well, you guys know, but some of the listeners out there, I've been very busy. Black Friday, myself and Lamario Beats re-released our long-awaited album, Too Much Free Time, the album. It is available on Apple iTunes, also Apple Music, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you can stream you some music. Please go check us out. We greatly appreciate the support. Eddy Kool is not only a podcaster guy, but he does some of everything. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. Also, I was a part of a new podcast, wrestling podcast with Scott Querton called The Pay Window. We shot the episode 1 last night. It is fun. I'm a very busy man. It's December, and the fellas know what December means to me, which means my mind must stay busy. My mind must stay creative. And to everybody that's been checking on me, I love you. Thank you. And I greatly appreciate it. Scottie D, I'm out of breath.
And with that being said,
yeah. All right, guys. You guys got anything else you want to say before we get the hell up out of here? Pick at Steeler fans, eat some chicken and watch wrestling.
Oh, absolutely. Just quick recap of what the Giants and Redskins are facing. The Giants hold the tiebreaker over the Redskins because they beat them. They swept them this year. So 2 of those 5 wins are against the Washington football team. But the road is tough ahead for the Giants. They face the Arizona Cardinals, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, and then it gets easy because their last game is against the Cowboys. All right.
Jerry Jones penalty box.
All right. And then closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. Happy holidays. Wear a mask. Don't be an ass. This has been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. You going to say bye, Scott? Or you going to be rude? Bye.
Hey, stick around, y'all. We got some bloopers for you.
Who do you want carrying that ball to get that 1 yard you need on 4th and 1? That's our choice for our choices of the voices. That's the question of choice for the choices of the voices.
Remix.
I sound like Dr. Seuss.
That's going in outtakes package. All right, Scottie D, bring it back in. 3, 2.
But I'm want to finish this off because I'm looking at the conference standings in college football. Because there are a couple more games that we are figuring out right now. How about this? You know what, Eddy Kool, count me back down again because I got stuck.
All right, I'm like, okay, all right, well, I'll count you in. The hell is he going?
I don't know.
Got me
just trying
going
to
in circles.
Da, 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 da. Oh, girl.
Oh, God, I had no idea what I was going on.
He's like, yeah, we got some more games. Look at this stuff, and Coast Carolina's undefeated. This we know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we
we don't remind
did
them.
listen to the earlier portion of the podcast. We know all that.
All 55 minutes and 30 seconds up. But in case you want to just reassurance, be live and let you know. Reassurance is always great. But count you back in, all right? All right.
Oh man.
Go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Man, yeah, I hate to see a grown man beg.
Put me in, coach.
But whatever you're doing, you were just hitting your mic repeatedly.
Oh, I was singing "Put Me In." I'll edit that. No big deal. I was trying to clap and sing, and I don't know.
You're doing too much.
All right. So where we going now? Is it Scottie? Your third and final?
I'm done.